Eyup everyone, I hope you're doing alright and I hope you're having a good day so far. Welcome back to my channel, welcome if you're new. So I'm doing another CAS video for you today, a little bit of a bonus video this week. I thought I'd do a set of outfits that are like more alternative looking. I noticed some of the items from the park sort of lean that way in a couple of the swatches. So I thought I could see if I could do some like alternative, somewhat grungy looking outfits. So when I say alternative, I'm assuming that everybody knows what I mean, but if not, I'll put up a few like inspiration pictures, not that I necessarily used, but just the overall, I guess, aesthetic, of what alternative fashion is, which I think is quite a broad term, to be fair. I'm not really sure exactly what's considered alternative. Like I said, it's more of like a broad term, and there's lots of things that fall under that. Some that are more mainstream than others. So like I think at one point checked trousers would have been considered alternative, but I think they're fairly like average day-to-day stuff that people would wear nowadays. Same with like Doc Martens, at one point they were seen as quite alternative, that only certain people wore. Converse, Vans, same sort of thing. They're sort of like more mainstream now, aren't they? So it's definitely more of a broad term. So I tried to lean into the more sort of typical aesthetic, I guess, as best I could with the items from the pack. So this will be the last team that I create. Probably I might try and do a male sim. I know that I don't make male sims that often, but I don't know, it's difficult. I'll try and do it. I don't think I'll make a video out of it, but I will try and make a male sim with some of the outfits. So just keep an eye out on the gallery if you're interested in that. We just don't get much male items, and I'm not very good at coming up with like masculine outfits. I tend to make more feminine outfit choices, and I prefer feminine frames to dress, and we have a lot more choice. Like with the high school years pack, I think we got like 3 times more female stuff than we did male, so there's only so much that you can do with it. But I'll make a male sim, why not? I'm also going to make a family for this sim, and I'm going to put them into the little let's play that I'm doing over on stream, which if you haven't seen already, or if you know you're interested in watching some gameplay, I'm kind of doing it in a way that's just sort of casual. I don't really have any goals in mind, but I think I'm going to put a few goals together for each sim that I've made, and play different sims during the let's play, just to explore different parts of the park. So I didn't really know anything about the pack until yesterday when I streamed it, and one of the sims that I'm playing as, Ivy, she's quite creative, so I think I'm going to get her more into like the trendy, thrifting sort of gameplay element, so you can like buy clothes from like the thrift shop and everything. So I might get her to do that. And then this sim, by the way, this is Ava Chambers. I've not really talked about them. Completely randomised name apart from the name Ava. I thought that they looked a bit like an Ava. I was kind of thinking of maybe to go for more of like a gender neutral name, considering they're a non-binary person. And they use they them pronouns, which I think you should be able to see in the top left corner. But I thought maybe there's a potential for a name change in the future in terms of the, in terms of the stream. Which I will say, obviously not every non-binary, well maybe it's not obvious, but if you didn't know, not every non-binary person changes the name. If they have like a feminine name or a masculine name, they might just keep it, I don't know. Obviously everybody's different, everybody's an individual. But yeah, anyway, just thought I'd throw that out there just in case, you know, there's anybody watching that don't know. You never know, do you? But yeah, I think this sim is going to do the live streaming bit. I think I want to explore that with this sim. They are a geek, they're a bit socially awkward, they're kind of into computers and programming. I kind of imagine them as a bit of a loner sim as well. So I gave them the socially awkward trait, which came with the pack. And yeah, I'm excited to play them. This might be one of my new favourite sims. I'm excited to play with them and see what they're like and stuff. And I think I'm also going to make a family for them as well, like I did with Ivy. I also made a family or I made parents, should I say, for the other sim that I made, was she called Bailey, which I'll put on the gallery. I don't think I put them on the gallery. They're very sort of like a cheap version of that sounds kind of mean, like the land grab family, but not as rich. They're not cheap, they're not like, you know, they've got money. I've got money, yeah, they've got money, sorry, they've got money. But they're just not as rich. I'd say they're like upper middle class. They don't necessarily have like property, they own their own house, they've got decent paying jobs, they like to think that they're better than others, they're that very sort of like typical snobby, materialistic family. But they're quite nice, like they sort of subvert your expectations. They're quite, you know, materialistic, like the mother's really materialistic, but then the dad's pretty like chilled, he's not too bothered. I imagine he'd be quite a generous sim that likes to give to charity and volunteer at soup kitchens and yeah, just stuff like that. And by the way, I'm talking about the preppy teen that I made the other day, last week, whenever it was. I'm talking about her parents. I'm not really sure what Ava's parents could have been like. I've not really thought about that yet. But yeah, I do want to explore the live streaming side of it and see what happens with that. So yeah, this is Ava. We'll have to see what happens with him on stream. I'll link my second channel in the description if you want to watch the VOD, or you can watch it on Twitch. It's up to you. Maybe if you're watching this later on, best place to watch it will be probably the VOD channel. There's also chapters on there as well, so you can like skip ahead if you want to certain parts of the stream. But yeah, it were alright playing with the gameplay and everything. I'm not gonna lie, we're a bit lackluster. I felt a little bit bored at certain points. I'm gonna do potentially a video on like my review of the pack or something maybe, or I might just sort of do a quick summary when I've done the gameplay portion on stream. I'm not sure yet. I'm sort of making notes as I play it, like mental notes, and then I write them down at the end. So I don't want to touch on them too much in this video because it's not really about gameplay, obviously it's about CAS. But yeah, it's alright. It's alright. That's all I'm going to say for now. I'm not going to go into it too much, like I said. So yeah, I guess I'll talk about the Sims. So the creation of them was a bit of a pain. Not so much like, I don't know if this was a me thing or what, but I was really struggling with the makeup. I weren't really sure what sort of looks I wanted them to have. I weren't super keen on the hairstyle. I think it kind of works. I feel like maybe they want to kind of cut the hair short, but they don't just yet. So I might cut the hair during the gameplay. There is like a short haircut that we got with the pack that I might give them as well. And yeah, the makeup were really tricky. There was just something about it that weren't looking right. And then right at the end, I kind of go back and change some of the eyeliners, and it ended up looking a lot better. But I was just a bit back and forth, a bit all over the place with it. So there's a few cuts here and there where I have to cut out a lot of flicking through different eyeshadow swatches and lip swatches. Yeah, it was just a bit of a nightmare. I think it was more my fault rather than the game. But I don't know. I said this in one of the previous CAS videos. I can't remember which one. Some of the makeup, it's just too opaque. Like the eyeliner, it doesn't look like it's actually, I don't even know how to describe it. It just doesn't look right. It doesn't look like makeup, like on the Sims skin. Like the eyeshadows are fine. The blush kind of fine. Lipsticks again. But sometimes eyeliners, they just look way too flat on the eye. And it doesn't matter on the Sims eye shape or the skin tone. I just feel like across the board, a lot of the eyeliner looks a bit flat, so I tend to struggle with it. I think that's kind of what put me off in this case. And also some of the eyeshadows looked a bit like pixelated. I don't know if that's to do with the Sims like eye shape and stuff. Sometimes you can have a Sims eye shape and it just looks a bit weird. I don't know, like it don't look weird, but when you put makeup on it, the makeup doesn't sit where it's supposed to. Which I guess that's just one of those things. I don't really know what you can do about that. I feel like what the Sim was missing was eyelashes. Like I just wish that the Sims would bring out some eyelashes, as like even if they brought them out as like glasses or skin details, you know, like the CC ones. Yeah, I don't know why they don't do it. I just think that's sometimes just needed. I don't like, obviously some of the eyes do have eyelashes. That's what that black strip is along the Sims eyelash. Like those are eyelashes. But even if they just changed like those, just make them look a bit more like realistic. Obviously not like alpha CC realistic, but I feel like they could make them look better. But yeah, either way, I really do like how the Sim turned out. I think they look really nice. We've got a mix of like different sort of styles in there, I guess. Like there's that sort of more like emo look, more grungy, and then just sort of like rocker, I guess it falls under in the game. Yeah, I think they look really good. I like how they turned out in the end. Like I said, it was a bit of a struggle with the makeup, but overall I'm quite happy with their outfits. I feel like I could have done a better job if I had more packs, like if I were using more packs, but I did just want to make this base game and high school years only. So yeah, with all that being said, I'm going to end off the voiceover here and let you have a look at the screenshots where you can see the sim pose and everything and look at the full outfits. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you do have any suggestions of any sims that you'd like to see me make, feel free to leave them in the comments. And yeah, I hope you all have a good rest of your day, and I'll see you later. Bye!